Free cheese is only for mousetraps. You know that, Barbara, right? Well, these birds didn't know that. They clearly decided that the killer whale would feed them just out of kindness. At first, the behavior of a huge underwater predator looks very strange. The killer whale swims several times to the very edge of the pool to give the birds their fish. And what, in this dolphinarium they're well fed. Although to be honest, we're against keeping aquatic animals in captivity. So the killer whale decided to share with such unusual creatures. After all, for the killer whale, birds are like creatures from another world, aren't they? No, not like that. It's just that the killer whale wants to diversify its menu. Let's just say that she invests a little fish in her idea to get a lot more. The birds stop being afraid of her, come much closer to the water's edge, and the killer whale rushes into one of them. The feathered creature does not have time to react and take off before the huge mouth of the predator slams shut. A second, and he takes the bird with him into the depths of the ocean. After spitting a few fish, he got a whole lunch. If you think this is a unique case, then you're wrong. The killer whale has no fish to lure the bird closer. So she decided to pretend to be a cute, playful friend of birds. Look at how the killer whale starts playing with the bird from afar. It turns upside down, attracts attention, and the predator seems to be screaming, "Hey, let's just play. And harmless and kind, don't be afraid of me." Yeah, of course. Curious birds come closer, just so that the killer whale has its chance to rush at them and try to catch them. Fortunately for the birds, this time their reaction did not let them down, but still they did not expect such meanness from a killer whale. However, sometimes birds realize what is happening too late, and then find themselves in the teeth of the enemy before they gained the desired height. In the animal world, surprise is an important trump card. Therefore, animals often have to be surprised, from an unexpected enemy throw or unexpected strength of an animal that looked harmless. But we can only guess what kind of shock this seagull was in. Just imagine, you calmly fly over the waves and watch a huge killer whale hunting seals. You're a seagull, and according to your nature, you were just waiting for the opportunity to grab a random piece of food. There is a huge distance between you. They're in the water, you're flying over it. Nothing can happen to you, right? Well, that is not right. The killer whale does not just catch the swallow with its jaws, it throws it out of the water with a powerful blow of its tail, and practically launches a seal right at you. Yeah, you're understanding everything correctly. A killer whale almost knocked down a bird with the help of a seal. This is both a fail-safe way of hunting and training. From such a blow, the victim does not have a single whole bone, and falling on the surface of the water finally finishes her off. From what height did that seal fall? A second story? A third story? In any case, the seagull is in shock. However, let's be honest. It's not for us to complain about the nature of killer whales. This diver noticed way too late that a huge whale swam way too close to him. Now the killer whale is within striking distance. One swift movement of the tail, and she will do exactly the same thing with the diver that she did with the seal. But instead, the huge predator began to sincerely play and study the man. That's when the behavior of the animal presents a really pleasant surprise. This time, the surprise is that there was no treachery or setup here. The absolutely wild, huge killer whale really swims to people just to get acquainted, to play with them, to swim together. According to statistics, cases of killer whales attacking people only happen, well, no, they don't happen at all. Killer whales are friendlier to us than ordinary dolphins. Dolphins can actually attack a careless swimmer, but a killer whale? Never. This lioness clearly does not know that physical punishment is a bad and not effective way of upbringing. Well, she shouldn't have tried to use force on kittens in front of their father. Male lions are very devoted fathers. And if necessary, this giant will protect the cubs even from the female in its own pride. He quickly made it clear to the lioness that it was necessary to behave carefully with his babies. No injuries or traumas. It's just that if a lioness thinks that the strongest is right, she will have to show that there is someone who will protect helpless lion cubs with her great strength. That's what effective protection of children's rights is, guys. It seems that in a moment, the alligator will pounce on this careless cat and drag it down to the depths of the water. But in fact, the opposite is true here. This is not a reptile trying on a victim, but a cat studying an alligator. And as a result, the furry little brave cat decides that this overgrown lizard does not represent anything interesting, which means that it needs to be driven back into the water. The alligator simply did not expect such impudence. Some kind of a fluffy ball is hitting him in the face. But this confused the reptile so much that it decided to wisely retreat, and as a result, an ordinary cat defeated an alligator. Admit it, you guys, such bravery deserves your like. The lynx belongs to the family of cats, but even among them, it is not the largest predator. The lynx is inferior in size to the cheetah and its closest relative, the cougar. Servals and caracalas living in the tropics, as well as smoky leopards, can also either be as large as the lynx or even exceed them in size. Although this does not detract her from her incredible agility. Just look at how far this cat can jump relative to its own body. If a person were capable of doing such a thing, the need for pedestrian crossings would just disappear. Why wait until a traffic light allows you to cross the road if you can just fly over the tops of the cars? In addition, the lynx is known for its loyalty to humans. Although there are legends among hunters that sometimes this cat attacks people, there is no reliable confirmation about this. On the contrary, lynxes rescued from poachers quickly get used to a person and even purr to them like domestic cats. And although the lynx, of course, does not seem loud against the background of a lion or a jaguar, but it is bigger and stronger than a shepherd dog. So the purring of such a cat resembles the operation of a car engine. Would you like a huge cat like this to purr in your arms? But no matter how cute the lynx is, with its tassels on its ears, short tail, and huge fluffy paws, it is able to surprise with its hunting prowess. The weight of a male deer is about 1/4 of a ton. And although the hornless female is inferior to him in size, it is still a fairly large animal. The weight of a lynx is 7 to 8 times less. Of course, an herbivore armed with sharp hooves does not see a lynx as a particular threat. The difference in size is so big that the deer may well repel the predator with the help of its branched horns, or, if there aren't any, then simply trample or gore the enemy. Well, if the deer had run away immediately, he would have had more chances. Underestimating the lynx was a really big mistake. This cute little cat suddenly turns into a real living whirlwind of claws, fangs, and pure rage. And the lynx also resorted to the ideal tactical move. It can't ram you with its head if you're holding on to it. Great idea, isn't it? The deer really is unable to resort to its usual weapons and cannot reach the lynx with its hooves. The lynx clings to his head and neck with such force that a bulldog would be envious. If the lynx can overwhelm its prey and pin it to the ground, then the prey has almost no chance left. The cat will get to the throat and then use its fangs. But I guess if the deer was standing up fighting, the lynx would still not back down. The deer should be given credit here as well. He fought desperately and quickly realized that he had contacted the wrong opponent to look down on. The deer was even able to throw off the lynx and then deliver a powerful hoof kick at the end. However, where larger cats lack stamina, the lynx demonstrates amazing determination. She doesn't back down and attacks the deer again and again. The lynx's goal is difficult, but for her it is the only chance to win. The cat is trying to swing and use the inertia of its own body to break the victim's neck. In addition, the lynx does not just randomly strike with its claws at the eyes and sensitive nose of the ungulate. She is also trying to get to the large blood vessels in the neck. It is difficult because of the protective layer of fur, adipose tissue, and muscles, but thanks to the unusual endurance of the cat, the lynx still gets its way. It causes critical damage to the deer, which can only be finished off at this point. As you know, lynxes often hunt prey way larger than the lynx themselves. If a lion could take down a victim with the same proportional differences as a lynx, he could hunt adult elephants by himself. So the big animals are lucky that this little lynx is small. What unexpected demonstration of animal strength or cunning today surprised you the most? Let us know your opinion in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel to see the most epic cases from the world of wildlife more often. The marsh harrier is quite a cool predator. Several such birds in their own nest are absolutely not afraid of anyone. Very wrongly so. They underestimated the white-tailed eagle, which flew straight into a frontal attack. Perhaps the 3 marsh harriers wanted to wait out the siege and give battle among the branches. But their plan failed due to the swift attack. The white-tailed eagle crashed into the nest and simply brushed one marsh harrier away with the same ease as you take a yogurt bottle off a supermarket shelf. The incredible aggression of the white-tailed predator gave it an advantage that crushed the opponent, even despite the numerical superiority of the marsh harriers. They simply didn't manage to dive on the eagle altogether. It acted too assertively and quickly. And it wasn't alone either. Another marsh harrier flew out of the nest, but under its branches, the bird was caught by the second white-tailed eagle. Only the 3rd marsh harrier remained in the nest. She was just lucky. If the eagles could physically take her too, they would have attacked without hesitation. The marsh harrier is clearly in shock. In a matter of seconds, it became the last of their small squad. Perhaps such animosity towards marsh harriers is due to the fact that these predatory birds hunt for fish. They glide down to the surface, scanning for prey, and then swiftly snatch it in a gliding flight. And the white-tailed eagle also loves to catch fish right from the water. A similar menu and a similar hunting style makes them competitors. It's a pity that they don't have some sort of professional solidarity, as both birds are at great risk. However, if you think the white-tailed eagle can feel secure and intimidate other predators, that's not the case. This falcon is so brave that it decided to attack a predator about 4 times larger. The white-tailed eagle didn't expect such audacity. The falcon swooped down on the enemy like a small, agile starfighter attacking a huge space cruiser in some Star Wars scenario. Out of movies. Yes, the falcon is much smaller, but it reaches the speed of a racing car. And its small size gives it such maneuverability that it's challenging for the human eye to track its movements at all. Probably when the military devised tactics for the aerial combat of 2 fighters, they relied precisely on the experience of such skirmishes. The falcon approached the opponent from behind and above to deliver a decisive blow and knock it down. The white-tailed eagle is large, and significant damage can only be inflicted by hitting its head. But the falcon underestimated its opponent. The eagle is an experienced attacker. It managed to notice and react to the falcon's attack, even though it tried to approach it from a blind spot. Yet this white-tailed eagle made a mistake with the target of the attack. After all, it attacked its own kind. Yes, these fighters love to battle anyone, even their fellow brothers. White-tailed eagles fight fiercely, but at the same time, they don't try to inflict serious injuries on each other. It seems like they fight for training and maintaining good shape, deliberately choosing the strongest possible opponent to test their abilities. What do you think? Share your opinion in the comments. In any case, the clash between 2 white-tailed eagles looks incredibly epic. It seems they've learned to use not only claws and beaks as weapons, but even the laws of physics. Just look at how the white-tailed eagle extends its claws towards its counterpart. Perhaps it could have dodged, but instead it prefers a powerful clash. Its strength is so immense that both birds are literally swept aside by the inertia of their movement. And the blow doesn't allow them to level their flight and utilize their wings to the fullest. However, it seems like the birds are having fun. Apparently, they're just adrenaline junkies, as we can't find another explanation. After all, who would fight with an equal opponent, a large and dangerous predator, for the sake of a small piece of meat or fish? Which is already abundant here. Only those seeking thrills. It commands its respect, doesn't it? Birds of prey dueling in the sky look incredibly epic and spectacular. Birds risk their lives, but instead of landing and continuing to settle the differences there, they attack each other again and again. The aggressor chose the wrong easy target and now risks no less than it. As if they damage their wings, the outcome for both fighters will be the same. And they constantly attack the wings. When avoiding a blow, the one who dodges has to fold them, changing the flight trajectory. It's a risk, but changing the direction of movement allows more effective evasion and transition to a counterattack. Claws go into battle against claws, the victim exposes its blades toward the opponent, and it already wants to fight to the bitter end. The aggressor clearly underestimated the predator of another species. Before it is no less fierce hunter and warrior. The feathered warriors circle and perform high-altitude figures to attack their opponents again and again. Strangely enough, such duels don't often end fatally, especially if both opponents are roughly in the same weight category. And that's a good thing, especially since many large birds of prey are currently under the threat of extinction. Vultures typically feed on carrion. That means they don't need to hunt for agile and fast prey, pursue it, and maneuver. On the flip side, they often have to compete for food with other scavengers, both of their kind and various mammals. To snatch food from a jackal or a coyote, the vulture has to display excellent combat skills. Moreover, this lifestyle allowed them to grow to impressive sizes. The weight and wingspan of vultures often exceed the dimensions of eagles, even large species. But when this scavenger decided to take away food from a solitary golden eagle, it clearly underestimated its opponent. The predator reacted instantly, extending its claws forward and engaging in combat. The predator didn't attempt to escape, retreat, or take off to attack from above. It chose to fight on the ground and demonstrated such skill as if it had studied martial arts for several years. Look at how elegantly it blocks, parries, and deflects the opponent's strikes. The golden eagle is smaller than the vulture, so it steps back, but does so effortlessly and gracefully, without panic, maintaining balance for a counterattack. In the end, it managed to avoid any injuries, which is an achievement considering the attack from such a huge adversary. Certainly, compared to a wolf, a coyote doesn't seem like such a dangerous predator. But in reality, it is a skillful and agile hunter, as well as a cheeky scavenger. Similar in size and weight to a large dog, a coyote is physically stronger than almost any bird. It is 6 to 7 times heavier and more massive than a white-tailed eagle. And the wingspan of a coyote won't deter it. When it noticed birds feasting on a carrion, it decided not to join the meal, but first snatch the food from the feathered competitors, and then even attack one of them if they didn't scatter it in different directions. Well, the eagle indeed didn't attempt to flee. But the coyote's plan failed. It leaped onto the eagle to subdue it. Wing strikes, which are almost unable to cause any real damage, and might at most confuse such a predator, also didn't help the bird. The coyote clearly had dealt with feathered scavengers before, so it ignored the wing strikes. Just a little bit more, and its fangs would close around the eagle's throat. However, the beast chose the wrong enemy. The bird intentionally let the opponent get so close and delivered a powerful claw strike right to the coyote's face. It cooled down its enthusiasm and made it retreat to the carcass. The eagle is safe and executes a turn to return to the food after some time. It's unlikely the coyote will muster the courage to attack again, if it wants to keep its eyes, of course.